Hi, thanks for tuning in today to our life-changing stories. It's a little segment we're going to be putting on at Living Waters Church here, because we know that Jesus, wherever he went, he made a difference in people's lives, and their lives were transformed to the glory of God. So, again, over the next few weeks, we're videoing some people's lives and getting their stories so they can go online. So thank you for tuning in. Joining with me today is Jim Stevens. Jim's a friend of mine. He's been coming to Living Waters Church here for probably the past 7 years or so, Jim. About 7 years. But Jim wasn't always a church-going boy. However, we'll hear more about that story. I mean, if you remember a few weeks ago, if you tuned into any of our website meetings, I was talking about the disciples, how most of them weren't just nice church-going boys. You know, they were guys who were rough and ready, and God broke into their life and they ended up serving him and following him. So I'm just going to kind of do an interview, but Jim's going to tell us his story today so we can get out there about how his life was turned around by a touch of God. But just to start us off, Jim, just give us a little bit of your background, where you were born and where you were brought up, your early days, pal.
I was born in Bellshill maternity, you know, and I grew up in Bellshill, went to a primary school in Moss End, just round the corner there, and then went to Bellshill Academy from there. You know, at an early age I played football, you know, and played for a team in View Park there. My football career was kind of cut short, you know. At 13 years of age I started sniffing glue, you know, and was a bit of a punk rocker and ran about with a few guys. I
can't believe you were a punk rocker.
Ran about with a few guys older than me.
Yeah.
And we got involved in sniffing glue and taking magic mushrooms, and which progressed then onto cannabis, you know.
So that happened right away when you were in your early teens?
Yes.
On you go, mate.
So at 13 I'm at school at Bellshill Academy, you know, and I always fancied myself as if I had a gift of the gab, like, you know, as a bit of an entrepreneur. And I'd be selling cigarettes for 10 pence a cigarette, etc., you know, but that then progressed to selling joints at the age of 15 at school.
For goodness sake.
And so I didn't really leave school at 16 or whatever, you know. I was always getting suspended or expelled or something for being up to no good and carrying on and disobeying teachers or whatever, you know. And my mum worked in a pub called the Act One, just sits round the corner there. So I was always in there rather than be at school, you know. I was in there playing pool quite regular, and just drinking Coca-Colas, playing pool around there, sometimes at school, sometimes in the pub, you know. And round about that time, like nearly 16, you know, I can remember in the pub there was a lot of people smoking cannabis, etc. And I'll be doing that as well, you know. My mum and dad gave me money for my 16th Christmas when I left school, eventually. I never really left school. I actually got expelled, though, and just never went back. But 15, so at 16, as I say, I got involved in. They used to ask me at school, she says, what do you want to do when you leave school? And I said to them I was going to be a drug dealer, you know. So you've got to be careful what you wish for sometimes, because that became true, you know. I started off selling small amounts of cannabis, which quickly progressed into selling other things, you know, and get involved in criminality, got involved with some serious gangster families in Glasgow, you know. Got way in over my head, you know. At this particular time, at 16, 17, I was playing pool in another pub, you know, and a couple of chaps who were played for Scotland and were professional pool players. They started taking me to tournaments in England. At 17, I got the youngest ever cap to play for Scotland. And I started winning tournaments. Along with this, whilst doing all that, I'm selling kind of small amounts of drugs, you know.
So you were playing pool for the Scottish national team, kind of all over the UK basically.
17 years ago.
At 17, and I hear you were obviously you were a champion as well.
Aye, well, I was winning tournaments in Isle of Man, Jersey, all over London, England. Eventually, I got a job in a local pub called Rumours. It's called. I got a contract in there. I was on the YTS scheme. Along with that, so I was getting £120 a week plus £5,000 a year for sponsorship. I was signed and sealed my lawyers for 2 years. I was to be resident professional in the place. All I had to do was go up there in the morning and clean the tables and go back and coach a few guys at night and that. All the boys that I coached, a lot of them turned into Scottish champions, UK champions, etc. You know. While I was doing all this, and I went. By the time I'm 21, I think I got that contract when I was 20. By the time I'm 21, I go to London and I won the UK Professional Championship. And I won that in London, and it was like getting handed the prize with the Mayor of London with the big gold chain and all that.
Oh, the regalia, yeah.
With all the stuff on, you know, and I'd been on the local papers, the Bellshill Speaker, and that local guide as well at Poole, you know, and I was in it every other week because I was winning tournaments all over Britain, you know, and things were good. I kind of had the world at my feet.
See while that was going on, Jim, were you still using drugs at this time, or were you dabbling, or were you a wee bit free from it at that time?
I was kind of. I didn't realise I was addicted or whatever. I was doing only weekends or whatever. After playing at a competition, I would be going to the bar, you know, and it'd be double vodkas or whatever.
Having a party.
Having a party, you know. So, you know, I never thought it was actually going to kind of ruin my game and a promising career I had as a semi-professional snooker player. At that particular time, I'd become provisional ranked #1 player in Scotland.
Wow.
And after winning the UK, I was then ranked at 21 years of age. I was ranked #5 in Britain.
Fantastic.
So I mean, things were looking really good, you know. The selling the drugs, it progressed as well. As I said earlier there, and I got involved with some serious people, you know. I was turning over serious amounts of money, involved in the supply of cocaine, cannabis, amphetamine, all sorts of drugs, you know.
So was that mainly local, or was that you going out the country and in the country? What was happening there?
I had met a lot of shady characters from London and from the pool world, Aberdeen, Fife, whatever. Because there was, you know, they say I had a wee black book second to none, you know. So I'd made a lot of contacts, you know. I thought everything was good, you know. But, things progressed with the drug addiction, you know. I got seriously involved in the use of cocaine, you know. I was using cocaine every day, you know. I wouldn't be using it at night time or daytime, sorry. I'd be using it at night time, like sort of thing, like I'd be getting up in the morning, you know. Maybe having to travel to Aberdeen to collect money, to Fife, to here, where, all the rest of Scotland, you know. And then taking care of business as you do, you know, and collecting money or whatever, and maybe in between that, going to the pub for a couple of hours and practising a bit of pool. And then I wouldn't really take cocaine at maybe 10 o'clock at night. It was dark o'clock, you know, and then I would switch the phone off. I would go back home. I'd probably be up to about 5, 6 in the morning taking cocaine, drinking vodka or whatever. Totally off my head, you know. I was running about my own living room, like it was like Meerkat Manor with the paranoia, you know. Yeah, running about my own living room, my wing mirrors on, you know. It was absolute madness, you know. Just looking back in hindsight today, you know, it's just I was off my head, you know.
So clearly some of the side effects of the drugs you were taking, you were absolutely like a paranoid schizo, you were right out. Yes. Everybody was out to get you. What was that like?
Out to get us, you know, like sometimes the psychosis would go on really bad in the middle of the night, and I'd be locking myself in cupboards and wardrobes and all that, you know.
And the first time you were taking cocaine, and for the first wee while, you felt it was good and it was giving you a buzz, but now you feel that it's got control of your life and you can't live without it. Is that what's going on there?
I never took it during the day or that, you know, but it was just the obsession to take it. You know, it was always in my head all day, you know. I was like, I can't wait till the day's done till I get back home at 9 or 10 at night, you know. So I say that would start off going to the pub, performing, getting there to play pool, and there was a lot of people coming in, playing a lot of money matches for £1,000, £2,000 a match sort of thing, you know. And performing in there, and it'd be like 4 or 5 double vodkas, you know, to get me kind of heated up, you know. And then I would get a bag of cocaine dropped off, get somebody to drop that off to me, and then I would get a taxi home, or whichever. And then that'd be me for like most of the middle of the night, you know what I mean?
Where were you staying at this time? Were you staying at home still, or were you out? No.
I'd bought a house in Moss End, you know. I was 22, 23 years of age. I bought a house, you know, and I had all the Chatham's, successful Chatham's, whatever they want to call them, all the material things, fancy cars, BMWs, whatever it was a different carrier every week, you know, because I was always getting followed with regional crime squad, or drug squad or whatever, you know, so to change cars every other week, you know.
But at this time in your life, you've not really got any church connection.
I've got no church connection.
Right. And so, how did the church connection come about? Because your dad's also, he goes to church, but at one point he never, is that right?
Yeah, at one point he never. Actually, my dad was actually running about with me.
Right.
He was like a big brother figure. We would drink in the pub together, and he would end up taking cocaine with me, and he was drinking alcohol, and he was maybe delivering drugs for me as well, you know. And a period came in my dad's life where actually cocaine and alcohol brought him to his knees, you know. And I think he kind of cried out, God, if there's a God out there, help me. Right. And then years later, within a year or two, my dad turned his life about. Something changed my dad's life. He started going to church and he became a Christian. Right. And God broke into his life, you know.
So what did that look like to you?
Well, I thought it was you off your head, you know what I mean?
You thought he was off his head?
I thought it was really me, it was off my head, you know what I mean? But I thought, you're crazy. And because he was like a kind of like a big brother figure, I thought I'd lost my father, I thought I'd lost my dad, you know? Yeah. But anyway, I continued to go about my merry way, or whatever you want to call it. And my mum and dad would be praying for me to get brought to my knees, you know, and I would go to the house and I would say, what yous are praying for me to get brought to my knees? I says, I'm the man, you know, I've got a house, I've got this, I've got that, and you know, I had to get brought to my knees, you know. 25 years later, God broke into my life, but I'll tell you a bit about the story about that. What had actually happened is I've been turning over loads of money, you know. I was paying 30 years ago for today, I was paying a woman £200 a week to count money for me, and I kind of reaped what I sowed with all that. I got way in too deep. My dad's my biggest critic, and he reckons that I done in £250,000 smoking crack cocaine. I ended up with nothing, ended up with a lot of debt to a lot of drug dealers. And there was contracts out in my life, etc. You know, I lost the house, I lost the cars, I lost my ND partner, and I had a wee boy called Anthony to that girl, you know. And so when things were getting right out of hand, I was trying to pay this back, pay that back. I was kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, you know. You see who Bart's harvest gets paid first, you know. And I've ended up in London. I ended up with a place called Soho in London. I'm down there, I'm kind of avoiding these people, you know. I can't pay the money back. It's just impossible. You know, I don't have it to pay back, and there's a contract out in my life. So I'm in London. I'm in a hostel near Soho. I get involved with some Italian boys, prolific shoplifters. That's what my life became me. Get involved with these guys, get involved in shoplifting to pay for a drug habit. ended up in heroin down there. And, because, you know, I didn't want anything to do with cocaine. It was like too much paranoia and been a bit off my head with it all the time. So I found heroin down there. And then that just kind of finished me, you know what I mean? I was off my head, you know. I just thought, well, this is what my life's came to here. So down there, and I ended up in Wandsworth prison for shoplifting for the first time in my life. Well, no, the second time in my life. The first time in my life I was in prison, and long again for drugs charges. And down there, so I'm in prison, I'm in Wandsworth, and got out of there. And my mum and dad had been sending me clothes and that, and they'd said to me, actually, we'd like you to come up the road or whatever, you know. But one of these kind of drug dealers, a major gangster, had been at their door and he says, look, I know the boys getting too deep. If you tell me to come up the road, as long as he doesn't sell drugs and rub my nose in it, we'll sponsor him at the pool, we'll make sure he's alright, you know. But to be honest with you, I didn't really trust that. I thought maybe they wanted me up to
do you in?
To do me in, you know. And so I continued doing there for another year or so, and I've ended up coming up the road a year later. So I'm up here and I'm kind of under extreme paranoia, and I'm up here and I start shoplifting. I'm in and out of prison all the time, and I just can't see a way out it, you know. I end up getting a flat in Motherwell, a bit of a den of iniquity. A lot of drug dealers and that come and just, not actually drug dealers, just drug users. Yeah. People that stayed in the block that were all caught up in heroin addiction, cocaine addiction and alcohol all at the same time. So one Friday night, my son, who was staying at my mum and dad at the weekend, his name is Tony. He turned up at the door. He was just 17 the week before, and I let him in. So there's a lot of kind of people using drugs and that, whatever. I think I swallowed some Valium in the early hours of the morning. I thought I'm going to go upstairs to my bed, you know. And so I get woke up the next morning. His mum on the phone. She says, "There's Tony there. Do you want to go and wake him up? He's not supposed to be in your house, you know." So I went to wake the boy up, and he was dead, you know. He'd snorted a £5 line of heroin for the first time in his life. I'm not saying he'd been using other drugs, cocaine and cannabis. You know, he was following that same path as I had, you know.
So you actually found your boy dead in your own house?
I was trying to give him the kiss of life, etc. in the room and all that. And I was saying to his mum on the phone, look, he's not waking up. And she says, right, I'll be doing it. She phoned an ambulance, you know. So the ambulance came. All along I'm trying to give him the kiss of life, etc. And the ambulance guy came in and says, look, he's been dead for hours, son, you know. He's probably died in his sleep through the night. Wow. I was absolutely broken with that, you know. The tears were streaming down my face, etc. I think that'd be like 24th of March, 14 years ago there. He was only 17 the week before, you know, and me and him were really close. So I'm drinking all week, you know, and I really can't deal with this, and I'm all over the place, we're absolutely broken, crying, tears everywhere. I'm in absolute shock. I'm in shock because So a week later, I didn't really want to live. I had some money round about us, you know. There wasn't a lot of money. I'd been dabbling in wee bits and pieces and using my social security money to buy bits and pieces to make a wee bit more out of it, to pay for my addictions, you know. So I'd went down the stairs to a local dealer and I bought 17 £10 bags of heroin. I don't know why 17, because he was 17. I bought a 50 blue Valium and a £50 rock of crack cocaine. And I got two cans of cider out of the shop, 8cc cans. Called them high court cans, but in my case they were more like hospital casualty cans. So
your intention in buying the 17 tenner bags and the 50 Valium and the lump of crack and the cans, was your intention just to get us?
You know, I didn't want to live, you know. I didn't really have the bottle or that to throw myself out a window or commit suicide this way or whatever, but I thought, you know, that'll be enough.
Plus you've got all the pain inside you as well, you know, obviously all that hurt. You know, so for you that would be the way out, to end all the pain.
That was my way out, you know. So I went up the stairs to my flat, and I cooked it all up in a spoon. Put the heroin and the cocaine, there's a lot of it into a big syringe, you know. And I swallowed the 50 Valium with the 2 black cans, went up the stairs to the toilet, injected that into myself, and I woke up 36 hours later at the bottom of the stairs, you know. So that was an April Fool. So the April Fool was me, because I believe God had another plan for my life, you know, right at my darkest moment in my life when I wanted to end it. So 36 hours later I woke up down the stairs, you know, and I thought, you know, I was all over the place, you know. So I just sort of continued to do what I was doing, you know, and there was no thought. I've got another son as well at 34, a different relationship in my life, and there was no thought for him. He wasn't in my life at the time. There was no thought for my mum or dad, the pain they've just experienced as well. Just totally selfish and self-centeredness.
But at that time you never seen it as that, did you?
I never seen it as that. You know,
but now looking back, you realise that that was just total selfishness on your part, and it was all about you and what had happened there.
I just couldn't deal with the pain yet, you know.
So what happened in your life that brought you from the mess you were in through drugs, from the pain of the loss, to you turning up or getting to church one day? How did that turn about?
What happened is I managed to get off the drugs because it absolutely disgusted me because of what they'd done to my son. I was still on methadone, but I was numbing that pain with alcohol. I ended up becoming a full-blown alcoholic, and I was kind of shoplifting that. I was maybe getting all-day bus tickets, and I was going like shoplifting sprees and selling stuff in pubs and all that, cheese and ham or whatever it was. But you know, I was earning enough to keep myself going every day. Sometimes I'd be kind of getting a bit of cocaine with it or whatever. But it didn't matter if I'd earned £100 or £200 every morning. It was that same cycle, setting it up, do it all again. So I was getting lots of charges, you know. I was getting citations in the police stations, and you're caught in camera here, you're caught in camera there.
Yeah.
So it was a period of 6 years in and out of jail, maybe 30 months here, 10 months there, whatever, all added up to 6 years. In prison, I'm telling myself just before you get out, I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do that time. The minute I go to prison, my liberation grant, what I would do was be right to the shop, get a black can, and then that would take me on a taxi to somewhere else. It took my inhibitions away, and I was just back in that same cycle. So I was broken, you know. So people were seeing me, and I was just crying all the time, you know. I had a resentment against the world, you know. I fell out with God at that time as well, at my boy's funeral and that. And I fell out with God, you know. I said, God, and I kind of, you know, I blamed God or whatever. It was a blame game thing, you know. I was want to blame anybody but myself, you know what I mean. And a man get put in my path. He's a Christian man. He goes to Alcoholics Anonymous. So he'd been saying to my dad for a while, he says, look, get a phone number, get him to give me a phone. Just nothing was going right, you know. I just couldn't see a way out it. It was a real dark place. There was a lot of hopelessness in my life and despair, you know. And guy took me to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I'd been after drink for a week. I was like struggling with shivers and sweats and all that. My dad would get me 2 or 3 cans each day, you know what I mean, to try and wean me off it. And I would get down to like 1 can. So the guy took me to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And what I got in there that meeting that night, I got a bit of hope. And I thought, you know, all these guys are kind of sober all these years. And I had the guy's story and I quite identified with some of the stuff he was saying. And so the guy, I'd say to the guy, I said, that was all right, you know. And as I say, I got a bit of hope there. The guy took me to a meeting the next night, and I'd been going to church sometimes with my mum and dad, the King's Church in Motherwell, but I was staying with them at the weekend, so I was only kind of doing it for something to do, you know, and I didn't really know much about it, and still didn't know whether I believed in God or whatever, but I'd seen a massive change in my dad's life. My dad stopped taking drugs years previous to it, stopped drinking, stopped gambling, just stopped everything that was wrong in his life, you know, and him and my mum were kind of quite happy, but, you know, apart from what was going on in my life, you know. So the guy says, if you come to church with your mum and dad on Sunday, I'll take you to a meeting then as well. So he took me to a meeting in Clell, and that was my third one, over 3 days. And then he says, I'll come and pick you up tonight, and I'll take you to one in Bellshill. He took me to a meeting that night in Bellshill, and then he just kind of I'd met a few people there, and I felt a bit comfortable in it. I liked them, you know. And I just kept doing some AA meetings. You know, I was doing kind of 4, 5, 6 meetings a week, you know, and the hope was growing all the time. And I thought, you know, but at the time I could hardly string a sentence together. My head was full of broken bottles. I'd been out there in the madness for 25, 30 years, you know, mayhem. Just kept doing that, you know, and I was starting to eat some food again, you know, and I wasn't thinking about taking a drink. I was just kind of like go to another meeting, go to a meeting at night, so I was going to meetings every night. A friend of mine that says to me, Jimmy says, you know, maybe you should get the cue out and start playing again during the day. So he says, once you've got it, you never lose it, sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
He says, so we do meetings at night time. I got a cue, and I was going into a local pub in the club, and I was practising pool 5, 6 hours a day, you know, and to see if I still had it, you know, and I found, you know, I could maybe get quite good at this again, you know. So I've continued to do that, the early recovery. I went to do a voluntary thing with a place called Phoenix Futures. It was a girl that I know says to me, she says, they actually do a course, Jim. He says they're actually looking for boys in recovery to mentor addicts and alcoholics in early recovery. He says, so you can maybe go and do that, and that could spend some of your afternoons, you know. So I started doing that with him, like, you know. I had to get a disclosure done. And when the disclosure came in, I didn't know where to read it or wait, you know. It's like, well, what's been going on in my life for all these years, you know. And so I kind of done that, and I was mentoring a few boys and going to meet them, etc. I started doing a wee bit of work with the Scottish Drugs Forum, you know. And the plan was to maybe get some employment when I was ready in that field of work. But during this period of time, I haven't mentioned to you, which I'll tell you now, I had hepatitis. And the guy who took me to AA was a psychiatric nurse, and he was doing the hepatitis treatment in the prison. So then went on that, he says, you need to get rid of this will have to be dealt with. I was taking stuff called interferon. They no longer use it anymore. So I went through the interferon treatment, and after that, it really done some damage to my body. It was like chemical warfare. Went and done that, and I was always tired all the time after it, and I was sore because I'd come off methadone after the alcohol as well. There was no drugs in my system whatsoever. So the guy says to me, I think you maybe need to go and see a physio. After everything you put yourself through, I don't think everything's just going to be, you know. So I went to see a physio and that, and I was doing this voluntary stuff as well. Then I was speaking to another chap that went through it, and he told me how he'd been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, etc. through it. I had to go back to the hospital 8 months later, and they put me through blood tests, screens, all that, whatever. And the nurse come back, well, the top doctor, she was a top psychiatric nurse earlier, was dealing with this treatment. They come back 4 weeks later, I got a letter in with a diagnosis, chronic fatigue syndrome with a fibromyalgia overlap and damage to my right rotator cuff, which was all caused by wear and tear And I think this treatment kind of added it, you know. So it's so the plan to go and work in that field was kind of put on hold, you know. Although I was still playing a bit of pool, and I was getting quite good at that again, you know. Once I managed to win a few what they would call big competitions at an international level, which was an absolute miracle that I could even hold a cure, I'd be alive to go back and do that. And that as well, I got invited in to play with the Scottish Masters Legends team, which is all guys who's 50 and over. They go away for weekends or whatever, you know, to play for Scotland, you know, and I went to Bridlington with them. And I met guys I hadn't met for 30 years, you know, or people I knew for then, you know, and they were all saying, oh, we thought you were dead, whatever, etc. You know, and we won the World Championships. There was teams like Malta, Australia, Gibraltar, South Africa, everywhere. It was like awesome. It was an awesome show, you know, and we actually won it, you know, and I think I kind of stole the show in the semi and the final. I've humbled myself a lot in recovery, and I've got to watch my ego and my pride in these places, you know, and I just try and be humble the day if I started coming to church, etc. You know.
So tell us, what was the link into church then? Tell me that journey.
The link was when I got off the alcohol, I went to church a few times. When I was on the alcohol, I was always irritable and discontent, wanting out of the church. I was only there to kind of please my mum and dad, and just to do something, you know. But when I got off the alcohol, when I was going to AA, and I was seeing things about the 12-step program, about God, about this, about that. I didn't really have a problem with that, because I was starting to say, well, there must be a God, you know what I mean? Look at all the times.
That you should have been dead,
because like 15 years ago, I was in Monklands Hospital. I had septicemia, 2 blood clots in my leg, and a collapsed lung and pneumonia. And he says to my mum and dad, he's not going to make it, get a priest in. At that particular time, there was a guy in the area, his name's David Falke, a Christian prophetist. He's got a book out called Gangland to Godland. This guy came in with another fella with him, and they laid hands on me in the bed that night. This is 15 years ago today, from today. And he says to my mum and dad, he says, this boy's not going to die tonight. God's got a powerful plan for his life.
So you're in hospital, you're in a coma, you've got all the things you've just described in there, blocked arteries and pneumonia, and you don't know nothing about this, but mum and dad, you go and get a hold of a guy who comes into the hospital, lays hands upon you and prays for you. And he prays in the name of Jesus. But you had no clue this was going on. Yeah, so
he says God's got a powerful plan for this boy. Because of where he's been in life, people will listen to him. And he'll lead many people to Christ. That was what he says.
So the guy prophesied over your life, and you know nothing about it.
Well, I kind of knew, you know what I mean, but like, I wasn't totally unconscious or traumatised, but I was just like...
it was a fuzz, it was a haze for you.
It was a big haze for us, you know. So I'm promising him I'll stay off or whatever. I'm in hospital 6 weeks, I get out clean. Get out there, you know, just continued a bit my way, you know what I mean, get money, get me alcohol, more drugs or whatever, you know, and that's the way it all continued, you know what I mean, until I got to Alcoholics Anonymous. And when I got to Alcoholics Anonymous, I started enjoying the church, you know, and I decided, you know, I'm not going to run with this, my life's starting to look a bit better here. And I'm clean and I'm sober at this time. And just kind of try and fun it, kind of who I am in life, you know, and try and sort my head out. And I've just continued to do that, you know. So like I'm basically like 10 years clean of drugs a day through the grace of God. I'm 7.5 years sober. I'm 7 year, 2 months off methadone as well. I don't use any drugs whatsoever today. And I don't have thoughts about doing it or whatever, you know. I believe that God delivered me through that. He done a work on me in my heart and my internals and inside. And what I do is I take a few boys to CA meetings or AA meetings sometimes, you know, if it helps these boys, it helps me, you know, because a lot of these guys are people that I knew years ago, and they'll maybe stop me in the street, or they'll stop my dad and they'll say, well, what's happened to your gym? He's a miracle and all that, you know, and so I'll maybe go and speak to them and say, well, look, I'll maybe take you to this meeting or whatever, this is where I started my recovery. If you want to try it, it can maybe work for you, you know. So, and then I'll maybe invite them to a testimony night or something, you know. So maybe like 5, 6, 7 of them in the church to the new that are all attending the church regular. People that I kind of grew up with, that I drank with, I used with, or whatever, you know. So then I may bring some of them, and maybe one of them will bring another. One brings one, and one brings another. You know, that's the way it goes. You know. It tells you if we don't give this away, we can't keep it, you know. But, it's been a kind of mental journey, you know, just trying to rebuild my life. It was difficult, you know. I went to a friend of mine's church in Motherwell, and the guy came up and laid hands on me and he says, look son, he says, this has been a tough struggle for you. He says, and you seem to have lost your zest for sharing. He says, God's going to fill you with fire. So like 10 months later, I'm in the house and I have an encounter with the Holy Spirit. I was absolutely on fire for 5 hours, and it was awesome. And it was like the wee guy in the Ready Blue Glow advert, you know. I was on fire, I thought, it was incredible, you know. And I get the presence of God in the church, you know, and you know, things have not been plain sailing, you know. I've had a few tests and a few trials through it. I've never picked up drink or drugs, or I've no intention of doing that, you know. And as I say, I continue I do a wee bit of pool and that, you know. I'm not deluded I'm going to relive the past, but I do quite well at it. In November there, I was over in Cyprus for 11 days playing for Scotland again, and we managed to get beat in the final of England, you know. So, but you know, it was a good experience, and a lot of good clean time, a far superior life today, you know. But it tells me, the Bible tells me I'm a new creation today in Christ, you know. I certainly believe that, you know, and God's doing a lot of work on me.
Yeah, well listen, the interesting thing is, obviously, your mum and dad's probably behind the scenes were praying for you for years, right? So I just want to say, anybody who's listening there, that you may be a parent, you may have a child, doesn't matter what age your child is, and their life seems to be going a total stray, and you think, man, there's no hope. I mean, Jim's life, it was a hopeless case, and it's quite clear that just by his parents hanging on in there, believing and praying through, and now today they're all sitting in church together, worshipping God. You couldn't make that up. But just want to pick up on a comment Jim said, because the Bible says if anyone belongs to Christ, he's a new creation. The old is gone and all things have become new. In other words, in Jim's life, there's a new man. It's not the old Jim patched up. There's a new Jim. There was an old Jim, but that old Jim is dead and buried. And the new Jim that's here today is one that's only here and alive because of what Jesus done on the cross of Calvary and brought new life, new hope. And as a result, the new life and new hope that he's had in his life, he's now sharing it with other people, saying, look, I can't keep this to myself. I've got to get away. You know, and that's really what the whole gospel message is about, isn't it? You can't keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? You've got to get away. Freely have received, freely you give.
I would kind of say it's like kind of one in the pills. If you get good news and you win the pills, and everyone's going to know about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like when you get an encounter with God, it's an experience, like something that, you know, and you want to tell everybody. You know, and everybody thinks you're off your head, no?
Yeah, well, a few weeks ago, I'm just going to wind this up at the moment. A few weeks ago, I shared one of the stories on Sunday morning, how Jesus reached the unreachable. We spoke about a guy who was off his head big time. He wasn't off his head with drugs, but he was off his head because he was been under the influence of demons and evil spirits. And this guy was in a bad condition, so much so that he couldn't even live in his community. And yet Jesus crossed over a storm, over a river, over an ocean to get to him. And by the time Jesus met that guy, and by the time Jesus left that guy that day, he was a different person. He was, all the insanity had gone, the madness had gone, the torment had gone, and the Bible says he was in his right mind. And so much so that it says, Jesus, I want to follow you. Wherever you go, I'm going to go. And Jesus said to him, no. Hey, you're not coming with me. What you're doing is, you're going back to the town that you came from. You're going back to your own family to tell them the great things that the Lord has done for you. And that's a little bit like your story. You're now back. Your family's connected. You're back in the town that you came from, and you're telling the story of what the Lord has done for you. So I want to thank Jim for coming and sharing with us in these little talk times we're having. And I want to encourage you, if you're tuning in, please get in touch with us. On the screen, there'll be ways you can get in touch with us through email or telephone or that text. You can text that number. We want to just reach out to you the best way that we can. So thanks for tuning in. And these story times are going to keep on rolling over the next several weeks. So again, thanks for watching. Jim, thanks for coming. If there's one more comment you could make before we wind up, what would it be?
I'd like to thank you for asking me to do this, and hopefully if anybody hears it, it'll give him a bit of hope out there that God can make it and turn their life around a bit, you know. He's done it for me, he's done it for my dad, he's done it for other boys in here.
Yeah.
There's recovery available, new life available. I'd like to thank you all right.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah.
God bless.